Good morning, everyone. I am going to try my hand at my first cooking video. I'm going to make a recipe called ZUPPA Toscana, my version. The original recipe called for a whole lot of potatoes, and potatoes were something I could not eat when I was first post-bariatric. They just choked me. I can now eat potatoes, but I wanted to show you what was in the pot to start. I was trying to make the video a faster version for you. So in there I have sauteed 1 pound of bulk sausage. Bulk sausage, it could even be Jimmy Dean breakfast sausage. It could be your favorite Italian sausage. The original recipe called for Italian. I used a chicken sausage. I've used turkey sausage, but this particular one was a mistake I made a few months ago and used Jimmy Dean's maple sausage, and that sounds strange, but it worked for me. Then there's 2 slices of bacon in there, and I'm about to add in 1 cup of onions, sauteed, or I'm going to saute them in that, and then 3 cloves of garlic. So with that, you brown it a few minutes, and my Zuppa Toscana recipe is very veggie forward. Like I said, potatoes were not something I added a lot to because I had trouble digesting them, and they didn't work for me. So I've made, over the last couple of years, this soup several times. Yes, I have a crock pot. I'll try to link it somehow. It sautés your food, so you don't have to saute on the stove and then bring it back over to the crock pot. I love this crock pot. I have a crock pot collection. I also have Instapots. They will all work for you. However, the recipe works for you. I can't believe that they make crock pots that actually saute after I'm 61 and they've never had that before. So right now I'm just sauteing up the onions and the garlic into this soup, and it's looking and smelling delicious in here. Now, again, I've tweaked this whole recipe according to what I have in the house and what I love. So my husband and I have a garden, and he grew beautiful butternut squashes. So instead of potatoes, I'm going to put some butternut squash in here. We had beets. I actually chop up the beet greens and I freeze them. I'm going to drop a handful of them in here. I have baby spinach. We're going to go through it. So I'll do it as fast as I can for you. And then later on I'm going to post the recipe and the finished product, because I have no idea how to link videos together and do it all at once. So the recipe calls for a few shakes of crushed red pepper flakes. I've already put black pepper in this when I was sauteing my meat, and here goes the rest. It's going to be minutes. So in this, you do I have 2 cups of cubed butternut squash. I have 2 russet potatoes, peels on, because they're loaded with nutrients and potassium. I have a handful of frozen beet greens. Now when you freeze your greens, any of them, spinach, beet greens, kale, they just crumble. It crumbles. It literally crumbles. But the nutrients stay. Frozen is just as good as fresh in so many ways. And then I'm going to add in this rest of this spinach that I had. I try to go as organic now as much as I can, because it's just better pesticide-wise. And it looks like a huge pot of greens, but they will all wilt down to absolutely nothing. And then low sodium chicken broth, and if you have your own, that's even better. You use the whole carton, 32 ounces. And then to make it the creamy Zuppa Toscana, I use a whole can of coconut milk. Yep, it sounds strange, but you cannot believe how the flavors meld later on. And the bacon, the sausage, the vegetables, they all cook down for about 4 to 6 hours in this slow cooker. So I'm going to switch it from saute to slow cook, and you are going to have a delicious soup that's ready at dinner time. Full of vegetables. I have done this with rutabagas. I have done this with acorn squash. I always put a green. I don't know what the original recipes did say spinach or kale, so I always put a green. I don't know, what better way can I think of to sneak in loads of vegetables? Soup was something, that's it beeping telling me saute is done. Soup was something that I could digest. This is going to make 5 servings for me, maybe 6. So what I do is I eat tonight a bowl of it, and then I freeze in little sort of like the Chinese food containers. I freeze 4 of them, or however many I can, pints. That's a meal. Sometimes I have, now that I can eat a little bit more, I have just that, and maybe some fruit, or I have just that, and I'm full. I'm going to show you later, and I hope this helps someone. I'm going to try to get in the pot again. There's the food. So it looks like nothing, but later it's delicious. And like I said, once I made it with maple sausage, and that maple flavor with the butternut squash, and I put a little nutmeg in, so make it your own. Rachel Ray's words were, a recipe is a method, and what you do with your method is up to you. You're the queen of that kitchen, okay? So this is the first, and I have no makeup, and this is why I don't do them, because I'm not even out of my pajamas yet. Love you guys. Bye.